GSD, getting stuff done for the good people of Pennsylvania. I want you to know that the reason why we do that is because I've listened to the good people of Pennsylvania. And the Pennsylvania principles shine through no matter where you are, rural, urban, suburban communities. And I know we got a bunch of elected leaders here who understand this in their court, including our great speaker, Madam Speaker, Joanne Madam Speaker knows this, our mayors out there know this, Congresswoman Houlihan knows this. 4 basic Pennsylvania principles. Number 1, no matter where you go, people want great schools for their kids and grandkids. And thanks to what we've done in Harrisburg, we are investing more in public education than at any time in our Commonwealth's history, because every child of God deserves a better shot. You go around this Commonwealth and you talk to moms and dads, they worry about their kids' safety. That's why we are investing not just in police, but in lifting up communities, because when that child walks to and from school, they deserve to be doing that free of gun violence. Great schools, safe communities, 2 Pennsylvania principles. Here's another one. Great job opportunities, including in communities that have been hollowed out and left behind. And hear me on this. Whether you go to that great school and you want to be a lawyer or a laborer, we need to treat both pathways to opportunity with respect, and we do that. And that 4th Pennsylvania principle is something we've had a unique relationship with for 2.5 centuries. And that is, we understand our role in protecting our fundamental rights and our fundamental freedoms. That's the cause of our work, and that is what we are making progress on in Pennsylvania. And that GSD model, well, that's the way Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have lived in their public service careers. These are 2 middle-class kids who grew up with dreams to serve others. One in a rural community, one in Oakland, out in California, yet they have come together around those basic principles. Giving every kid a shot, making sure our communities are safe, lifting up communities that have been left behind, and protecting our fundamental freedoms. That has been the cause of their work. Now, I've known both of them a long time. I consider both of them friends. And let me tell you something. Madam President, she is battle-tested and ready to go. Just how skilled and determined and prepared she is. Well, look, take a look at how Donald Trump has been acting when he has to talk about it. This guy, I mean, you couldn't have a clearer contrast in this race. He is scared of Kamala Harris. He is scared of powerful people. You know what he's really scared of? Powerful women. That's what while Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have been out fighting for you every day, being, as she says all the time, for the people, you couldn't have a clearer contrast with Donald Trump. Think about it. And by the way, this isn't theoretical. We gave him the keys to the White House before. I know challenges that he poses. And notwithstanding the very real challenges that I know our fellow Pennsylvanians are facing every single day, people all across this country who deserve a better shot, who deserve more opportunity, who deserve more freedom. Notwithstanding all those challenges, I'm more hopeful and optimistic than ever before. And you should be too. I want to tell you why I'm hopeful and optimistic. Because we, Pennsylvanians, we have a unique responsibility in this election. And I've seen what happens when it's all on the line, and you all have to bear the burden of responsibility in an election. You all show up, and when you show up, we win these races. I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. Since 2016, every single time Donald Trump or one of his offspring have been on the ballot, whether it's for school board, for Senate, for governor, every single time they've been on the ballot, they have lost. And so I know that these races are close. And I know that can make some people feel down. But remember, when we all put our shoulder to the wheel, when we go back to our communities and remind them what is at stake, and talk to them about our Pennsylvania principles, folks show up. And when they show up, we win. And that is one of the reasons why I am hopeful. Let me tell you the second reason why I am hopeful, why I am optimistic. Because we've been doing this together for 248 years. I want you to think about it for a moment. 248 years ago, in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection in Philadelphia, we came together after declaring our independence from a king. And by the way, we are not going back to having a king. The greatest experiment in democracy in the history of mankind. And when one of my predecessors, Ben Franklin, walked out of Independence Hall, he was greeted by a Philadelphian who asked him, do we have a monarchy or do we have a republic? Franklin looked at that Philadelphian and said, we have a republic if you can keep it. The reason I'm hopeful and optimistic is because over the last 248 years, we have kept it. When it's all been on the line, when we've been writing those chapters in our American story, every single time, we've grown more just, we've accrued more freedom, and we've stood up for what is right. Sometimes those battles took shape on a battlefield overseas, and sometimes those battles took shape at a lunch counter where folks weren't being served, but we said it is time to recognize our fellow Americans from every single chapter over those last 248 years coming out of Independence Hall. We have done the hard work necessary to move our Commonwealth and our country forward. And so, my fellow Pennsylvanians, that is why I am hopeful. That is why I am optimistic, because of all of you. This election, there's going to be a bunch of names on the ballot. And I'm certainly going to be pressing the Kamala Tim one. Well, only once, but I'm going to press it really hard. But in many ways, this election isn't just about those names that are on the ballot. This election is about all of you. And the unique responsibility we have as Pennsylvanians 2.5 centuries later to continue to do this hard work. to continue to motivate, to continue to organize, to not